Good morning, everyone. As some of you know, I'm working on the campaign, and today's a really big day. A lot of pressure on those of us that are working on the campaign, and really a lot of pressure on everyone in the world today. The entire world is really waiting to see what the outcome of this election will be, because it has implications far beyond our personal lives, far beyond your personal economy, far beyond your personal needs and concerns. There is a much greater force at work. So I got up this morning and I had my people on the streets for Get Out the Vote at 6 o'clock this morning, going door to door, putting literature about how to vote and how to be sure that their people in their neighborhoods and the communities around Broward, Miami, all over the state of Florida are aware of how to vote safely and to get to the polls and all of that. So I woke up this morning and I was first just touched by the dedication of my team to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning, hitting the streets and really doing their job and getting the word out. And I decided to sit down and just write a little bit of my thoughts this morning. So I wanted to share that with you all today. You know, one of the things that's been really disturbing to me about, and I'm sorry, I'll probably cry a few times through this video, but one of the things that's been really disturbing to me about the way things have been going during this election is that the American flag itself has become a divisive symbol, taken by one side and assumed that the other side is not patriotic. That to me has been very disturbing, especially the days that I was in the street and I would have people say to me, well, you see my flag, you know how I'm voting. And I said, I'm not here to ask how you're voting. I don't care what side you're voting for. But to assume that one side cares about this country and the other side doesn't because they have a flag and a Confederate flag or an American flag is really disturbing to me, that level of division is happening. Now the American flag only represents one faction of the population. We need to stop that insanity, because we're all Americans and we all care deeply about what's happening in this country and the direction that this country is going in, whether you're Republican or Democrat. I'm going to take one pause and grab some water. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. So I first wanted to say that to everyone. To assume that just because you have an American flag means that you're on one side or the other is insane, and speaks of a level of ignorance, really, because everyone is concerned about this election, whether you are Republican or Democrat. And I know many Republicans who are equally concerned about a Republican win and a Democratic win. So it's just time for us to kind of get over that. I am going to share what I wrote, and it's definitely my personal opinion as a human being, not as a political being, based on what I feel and what I've seen in the last 4 years. Keep in mind, I am neither Republican nor Democrat. I'm a human. And I care about issues from a human perspective. I don't get my information just from media sources and from Facebook. I don't care about what the media says and what Facebook says. I had someone recently attack me and say that they thought I was just listening to the media. I base my beliefs and opinions on things that I feel and see and can tell about a person's character based on the words that they say, the way that they communicate. I have a very kind of my own guiding principles that I use for me personally to make my decisions in life. And I'm not guided by propaganda or media. I'm guided by my own inner compass. So I'm going to share this piece with you guys. I know some of you will disagree, and that's okay. Any hate speech, you want to go ahead and do it. You can show yourself however you want to display yourself. If you want to be hateful, if you want to be nasty, I'll just let you demonstrate who you are, but I really prefer that you don't. And you know, anything that gets into that vein, I'll just delete it and block it. Just really don't want to have that kind of nonsense here. This is just an honest, heartfelt share. So I'm gonna start. Thanks for watching, you guys. Hi, Naoshi. Hi, Joey. So again, I woke up at 6 a.m. this morning. For those of you that missed the first part, sending my people out to the streets to get voting literature to people, just to get the vote out and to know how to vote. So I woke up early and I was inspired to write. So I titled it, "The Battle for the Soul of the Nation, May the Human Party Win." The entire world is watching. Millions of people around the world are waiting to see what America will choose in what is undoubtedly the most critical and significant election in the history of our nation. Election Day 2020 is upon us. Never before has there been more at stake for the lives of millions of Americans and millions around the world. Never before have we been this close to the brink of the destruction of everything that once truly did make America great. Our very democracy is on the line, yet still millions of Americans are actively empowering an authoritarian regime with one-sided considerations, seemingly unaware of the dangerous precedent that is being set. A precedent that the entire world is witnessing with mouths agape in amazement that this is what has happened to the United States of America. Many other countries have had their runs with dictatorships and authoritarianism. They can see what many in the USA seem to not even want to look at. The path of a dictator is almost always the same. The telltale signs have been there all along and have been clearly demonstrated in the pre-election insanity of the 2016 campaign. So many people say, it can never happen here, it's just another 4 years. Sorry, I'm gonna cry. Yeah, we have already seen the damage that 4 years can do, and we as a nation cannot endure another 4 years without even more devastation to our democracy and to our country's reputation as a leader, not to mention to our people. We are no longer the top country for humanity's crusade. We have a lot of rebuilding to do to regain our global position as a great nation. To think that another 4 years is no big deal is beyond foolish. Already we can see that there are others waiting in the ranks to continue the reign that is happening now. This is something to be very aware of. We should never ever consider that another 4 years is some small thing. This administration has put many things in place to take over the systems at other levels than just the White House, and we must be very aware of why countries like Russia want to keep him in power. This is much bigger than what many want to see. The last 4 years have been a systematic adherence to the same path that every known dictator in the world has followed, from discrediting the media and the widespread use of propaganda to confuse us, to spinning countless thousands of lies that were fact-checked and documented to be lies by professionals, to gaining the support of violent extremists and some well-intentioned followers who lack the understanding of how narcissists manipulate their victims. We have witnessed in bewilderment as widespread indoctrination, fear tactics, intimidation, violence, chaos, and confusion have been spread in the hearts and minds of our people. Sorry, y'all. The values of our nation have become confused, muddled, and trampled on. Glamour, glitz, trauma, and drama have won over good old-fashioned concern for humanity. American politics has become a reality shit show for the whole world to be shocked by. Every day, a new round of insult to humanity's higher possibilities. Every day, a new trauma for our nation to endure. Every day, another round of lies, deception, illusion, and trickery have been thrust upon us by a government that is very much not for the people or by the people. Every day of the last 4 years has been about one individual and how much press time he can gain, how great he is, and how he's the best thing ever. Very little of the last 4 years have been centered on what should be a president's most important job, and that is taking care of the issues that most affect the daily lives of the people whose blood, sweat, and tears have built this nation. Before the last election in 2016, thousands upon thousands of renowned professionals from all over the world came forth to warn us of the dangers of an individual who publicly and privately displayed characteristics of serious incurable personality disorders that are known to be common among dictators and authoritarians. Before the last election, we were shown fully that we were allowing our election to be hijacked by an inexperienced con man who just wanted America to be another notch on his belt. Before the last election, we knew he was a man who lacked respect for women by comments made public, a man who had known ties to global forces that would love to see America come to its knees in division and civil unrest. Before the last election, that's been happening a lot. I've seen a lot of commentaries do that. Before the last election, we knew that this person had lied, stolen, and cheated the system for years, run businesses into the ground, and had ties with white supremacy groups such as the KKK. The writing was on the wall, which direction this unstable person would take our country. Yet still, we allowed our nation to be taken hostage for 4 years because of an electoral college vote that was likely brought with promises of profits and personal gains to those who voted. We all know he did not win the popular vote and lost to Hillary by over 1 million votes. Yet still, we have endured like true patriots in faith that our system won't let us down for more than 4 years. For the last 4 years, this country has been turned upside down, inside out, and spun around by a leader who is more concerned with his hairdo for $70,000 than with the average worker in America. For the last 4 years, we have been captive to the fantasy of a spoiled rich kid who thinks that $15 an hour is a great living wage for an American to survive on. Saving the list of over 25,000 fact-check lies and multiple crimes against women, our nation, and humanity in general, we have a president who has tarnished the soul of this nation and its reputation worldwide forevermore. The question on everybody's mind today, November 3rd, 2020, is what will America choose? Will the worst of humanity be demonstrated in the choice of this nation? Or will Americans stand up strong and show up to try to save what's left of the memory of stability, peace, unity, and goodwill towards each other? Sadly, the other question that many of us sit with is, will the voice of the people matter enough this time? If we won the popular vote last time and we still ended up with an orange-faced baboon in the White House disgracing our nation, will it go the same way this time? How can we have faith in a system that doesn't truly represent our voices as Americans over the politicians who may benefit by having their pockets lined? Millions of Americans and international citizens around the world are praying today for the outcome of this election to be favorable towards a higher sense of humanity. Millions of lives are at stake. Everyone knows that there is no perfect solution. There is no perfect option. Many are not happy with the Democratic choice of Biden, but we will vote for him to save us from 4 more years of tyranny, drama, and stupidity. Many of us look forward to politics once again being boring and legislative rather than a constant mockery of our country and its systems and its heroes. Millions of Americans would vote for almost anyone other than Trump if it came down to that. The reality is that it's time for a new party in politics. We need an option that is not more of the same and one that will truly inspire the youth and the elders to participate fully. We need a party that is founded on a strong spiritual foundation and not attached to any one religion or faith. We need a party that chooses love and compassion as its backbone, that respects all life and all faiths and all nationalities and all backgrounds and all colors as one. We need a party that maintains a stable economy but doesn't seek to provide profits for the elite at the expense of the everyday working Americans. We are desperate for a party that truly gets the need for economic stability for all as a basic human right that everyone has equal access to through education and opportunity for all. A party that provides incentives and pathways for the elite class to give and support those who are not as fortunate as themselves. We need stronger initiatives to re-educate the elite on the value of giving and service to others rather than spending more on lavish lifestyles that do nothing for their soul, nothing for the planet, and leave them feeling empty. We need a political party that listens to professionals in the health and environmental field and that takes their knowledge into consideration when making decisions that affect the entire world's population. We need a party that seeks to de-nuke the entire world. Because if any country has nuclear weapons, that is a threat to all nations and all life. We need a party that can truly be seated in the hearts and the minds of all people, of all nations. What we need is for the human party to get itself together and remember that every single choice we make in our lives has an impact on the well-being of someone else in some way. God help us all today on November 3rd. God help this nation to birth a human party.